Donald Trump clashes with CNN reporter. Again, Donald Trump is no stranger to fiery exchanges with the media, but this time, his latest confrontation with a CNN reporter has everyone talking. The former president, known for his unfiltered remarks and relentless criticism of the press, found himself in yet another heated back and forth, and let's just say it got intense. The moment that sparked it all started at a high-profile press event where Trump was fielding questions from various journalists. Then came the moment when a CNN reporter, one of the network's more outspoken correspondents, stood up to press him on a particularly controversial issue. The question, a direct challenge regarding Trump's recent legal battles and his stance on election integrity. Trump, never one to hold back, immediately went on the offensive. Fake news. He snapped, dismissing the journalist's inquiry before launching into one of his signature tirades about media bias. The room grew tense as the exchange escalated, with the CNN reporter attempting to push back while Trump doubled down. A history of clashes. This isn't the first time Trump has butted heads with CNN. Throughout his presidency and beyond, he has repeatedly targeted the network, calling it the enemy of the people and accusing it of pushing misleading narratives. Who could forget his infamous clashes with Jim Acosta, where security had to intervene? This latest encounter felt like a sequel, with Trump delivering another classic takedown of what he calls mainstream media dishonesty, a political strategy, or genuine frustration. The big question remains, was this just another instance of Trump venting his frustration, or was there a deeper strategy at play? Some political analysts believe these media battles are more than just outbursts. They're calculated moves designed to rally his base. Trump's supporters often see these moments as proof that he's fighting against what they perceive as an unfair, left-leaning media machine. On the other hand, his critics argue that his attacks on journalists are dangerous, fueling distrust in the press and undermining the free flow of information. The aftermath and social media explosion. As expected, the confrontation quickly went viral. Within minutes, Twitter, or X as it's now called, was flooded with clips of the exchange, with both Trump supporters and detractors weighing in. Hashtags like Trump vs CNN and fake news media began trending, with conservatives praising Trump for calling out the media lies. While liberals accused him of dodging accountability, CNN, for its part, defended its reporter, releasing a statement condemning Trump's continued hostility toward the free press. Meanwhile, Trump took to his own platform, Truth Social, to double down on his comments, calling CNN a failing network and insisting he won't be silenced. What this means for 2024. With the next presidential election looming, moments like this are bound to happen more frequently. Trump thrives on confrontation and his base eats it up. But will these fiery clashes help or hurt his chances? Will independent voters see him as a leader standing up to media corruption, or will they view him as too combative and divisive? And let's not forget, Trump's war with the media isn't just about him. It's part of a larger battle over who controls the narrative in American politics. What's next? One thing is certain, this won't be the last time Trump goes head-to-head with CNN. As tensions rise and the election cycle heats up, expect more clashes, more viral moments, and more debate over the role of the media in modern politics. But what do you think? Was Trump justified in his response, or did he cross the line? Are these confrontations a necessary fight against bias, or are they damaging to democracy? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is far from over.
And this should have been done by Biden years ago. This should have never been allowed to happen. I know he's a friend of yours.
But couldn't Putin just withdraw his...
He's a friend of CNN. That's why nobody watches CNN anymore, because they have no credibility. Okay, who else? Yes, please.
Donald Trump is no stranger to clashing with the media, but this moment was particularly telling. When it came time for press questions, one name was noticeably absent from his list: Kaitlan Collins. The former president, known for his combative relationship with journalists, made it clear that he had no interest in engaging with the CNN reporter. Collins, known for her persistent questioning, had been pressing hard for answers, but Trump wasn't having it. Instead of responding, he deliberately skipped over her, moving on to other reporters as if she wasn't even in the room. The moment was subtle, yet calculated, a clear signal of his frustration with her line of questioning and, perhaps, CNN as a whole. This wasn't the first time Trump had locked horns with Collins. Their tense exchanges date back to his presidency, where she often challenged him on controversial topics, refusing to back down. But this snub, it was different. It wasn't just another heated argument. It was a power move, a statement without words. The reaction was immediate. Conservative media applauded Trump's dismissal of what they saw as a biased journalist, while critics called it another example example of his hostility toward the free press. Social media erupted with debates. Was Trump justified in shutting her down, or was he avoiding tough questions? Collins, for her part, remained composed, but her expression said it all. Being ignored by a former president, especially in such a public setting, was no small thing. But was this a loss for her, or an opportunity? Trump's decision to sideline Collins raises a bigger question. How will this dynamic play out moving forward? With the 2024 election looming and tensions between Trump and mainstream media still high, moments like these could become even more frequent. If he returns to the White House, will he continue to freeze out journalists he doesn't like, or will the press push back harder than ever? And what about Collins? Will this moment elevate her reputation as a journalist who refuses to be silenced, or will Trump's snub make it harder for her to get the answers she's after? One thing's for sure, this isn't just about a skipped question, it's about power, media influence, and the never-ending battle between Trump and the press. What do you think? Was Trump right to ignore Collins, or was he dodging accountability? Drop your thoughts below because this debate is far from over.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
You won the White House in part.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you are meeting time with Mr. Modi on this.
Yes.
And yet, Trump wasn't finished. In the middle of a fiery tirade about Mitch McConnell, he found a way to take a jab at Collins too, making it clear that no one was off limits in his latest round of attacks.
Mr. President, you won the White House in part because of high inflation. If your tariffs make prices go up...
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please. Right?
Online commentators erupted in a frenzy over the spectacle, with reactions ranging from outright mockery to fierce political defense. One user quipped, "She should probably be benched from the press pool for a while. Clearly, she missed the Oval Office etiquette memo." Another chimed in with unwavering support for Trump. "Love how President Trump stands up to fake news. He's not afraid to call out their biased reporting and constant interruptions. One fiery response at a time, he keeps them in check." But Trump wasn't done. If there was one thing he thrived on, it was confrontation, and this was no exception. Doubling down, he took direct aim at CNN, unleashing a scathing rebuke that had both his supporters and critics glued to their screens. "You people are dishonest, completely dishonest," he declared, his tone unwavering. "All you do is push your fake stories. The American people are tired of it." The room fell into a tense silence, but outside the White House, the internet was on fire. The hashtag #fake news meltdown started trending within minutes, with supporters rallying behind Trump's take no prisoners approach and detractors condemning his attack on the free press. Memes flooded social media, some painting Trump as a fearless truth teller, others portraying him as an authoritarian silencing dissent. Meanwhile, CNN responded swiftly. Their anchors dissected the president's remarks in real time, calling them an assault on journalism and a dangerous precedent. One commentator fumed, "This is not just about CNN, this is about the integrity of the press. When a sitting president targets journalists for simply doing their job, democracy takes a hit." Yet for Trump's base, the moment only cemented their belief that the media was out to get him. Conservative outlets seized the opportunity to amplify his message, running headlines like "Trump destroys CNN again" and media bias on full display. The drama didn't stop there. Within hours, White House press secretary issued a statement defending the president's words, insisting that he was merely holding the press accountable. But behind the scenes, advisors reportedly debated whether Trump's approach was fueling an already volatile political climate. As the controversy deepened, one question loomed large. Was this another fleeting media firestorm, or had Trump just escalated his war on the press to a whole new level? No matter where you stand, one thing is certain: the battle between Trump and the media is far from over. What do you think? Was Trump right to call out CNN, or was this another attack on journalistic freedom? The debate is just getting started.
RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that led. He wanted to go to the end and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even, and that's saying a lot.
This wasn't the first showdown between Trump and Collins. Their history is marked by tension, clashes, and sharp exchanges, but
But that's the question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
you
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
And it's not just Trump pushing back against Collins and her mainstream media allies. White House Press Secretary Caroline L. didn't hold back either, delivering a sharp and unmistakable warning to Collins.
Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is.
A moment that would redefine how reporters interact with political figures? Or was it just another flashpoint in the never-ending culture war between the media and its critics? And then came the unexpected twist. A leaked internal memo from CNN's leadership suggested that discussions were indeed underway about how to handle the situation. Would they issue a public statement, defend their journalist, or quietly push them out to avoid further conflict? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher. The battle lines are drawn, and the outcome of this controversy could have lasting consequences, not just for one journalist, but for the entire media landscape. So what do you think? Was this a case of necessary accountability, or was it an unfair attack on journalistic independence? Is the media being held to an impossible standard, or is this just the price of reporting in today's political climate? Drop your thoughts below, because this debate is far from over.